Hi everyone and welcome back to Animal Crossing. Now today we're going to be doing something a little bit different, and this is at the request of one of my lovely subscribers. We are going to be finding our island's unique weather seed with MeteoNook. Now if you don't already know how to do this, I really hope this video is going to be helpful and that you'll be able to find your own island seed, which will then let you forecast your island's weather and know exactly when to expect special weather events. So without further ado, let's jump on in. Okay, so before we can jump on over to MeteoNook and begin tracking our weather, it is important that we first understand how the weather works in game. And this is to make sure that what we put into MeteoNook is accurate. So to begin with, our game day begins and ends at 5 AM. And the reason this is important is because when we're tracking special weather events like meteor showers and auroras, they can happen from 7 PM onwards to 4 AM in the morning. So if we begin tracking shooting stars, say at 7 PM on the 1st of February, then any stars that appear after midnight that evening would still be put in as the 1st of February, even though the game clock will change and in real life it would technically be the 2nd of February. For the purpose of tracking our weather through MeteoNook, it needs to be in the same day as what it would be in game. So you have to make sure that any auroras or shooting stars that you track after midnight are on the same calendar day as the ones before midnight. I hope that makes sense. The second important thing to know is that the weather will change every hour. But in order to make a smooth, natural transition between weather types, you will find that the weather will begin to transition around the half-hourly mark. So if you had a clear day at 9 o'clock, but it was going to be sunny or cloudy at 10 o'clock, then you will find that clouds may start to appear around the 9:30 mark. The reason this is important to know is because when you're tracking regular weather events, it is very, very easy to get them mixed up and confused or completely wrong. I can't tell you how many times I've done this and then had to remove everything that I'd put into the calendar and start all over again because I'd got them wrong. So this is why when it comes to tracking the regular weather events, it can be very tricky. It's already hard to tell the difference between some of the types, like cloudy and sunny. They can appear very, very similar because they both have clouds. So this is why, for the purpose of this video, we're going to be focusing solely on the special weather events. This is going to make it a lot easier for us, a lot more accurate, and definitely a lot faster to find our weather seed. When I've done it before using the normal weather types, it has taken me well over a week or two to actually get my weather seed and get it accurately. But using special events, you can do it in a matter of days. So before we get started, just a quick note, when you come on over to MeteoNook, you will find a welcome page here with some frequently asked questions. Feel free to read through these, they can be quite helpful. But we're going to jump straight on over to the seed page. If we was to go to the overview page right now, it would give us a default island, which is obviously not going to be applicable to us. But this is just to give you an example of the information that it will provide once you have your seed. But to do that, we need to go back to the seed page and begin putting in our data. Now, you will see some examples of the weathers to look out for on your island. As you can see from the pictures, it does look like it's easy to tell the difference between them. But trust me when I say that sometimes it really isn't. And so many times I've got this wrong. And I think many people do, because MeteoNook even has an option to put in that you're unsure if it's cloudy or sunny and that you're unsure if it's cloudy or rain clouds. So, I mean, feel free to include normal weather types if you're confident that they are accurate. However, we are going to focus solely on the special events just to make the process a lot faster and a lot easier for all of us. So if we scroll on down, we're going to see our calendar. Now, if you do time travel, it's important to make sure that you are inputting the data for the day that you are in game. You don't want to be putting this in for real life if the date does not match. If you don't time travel, then of course you don't need to worry about this at all. And whether you do or don't time travel, the process will be exactly the same. It will just be slightly longer, obviously, if you're not time traveling. So what we want to do is we want to be looking out for a special weather event. So whether you do time travel or whether you don't, you want to be checking for shooting stars anytime after 7 o'clock in the evening, or auroras. However, if you're in the southern hemisphere, you could also look out for rainbows and that throughout the day. At the moment, we're in winter in the northern hemisphere, which means we have meteor showers and auroras and obviously special cloud types throughout the day as normal. Now, for the purpose of this video, I have already cleared all my data. And what I'm going to do is we're going to go through it together, and I'm going to re-input what I have to walk you through the entire process. Once you do find a special event happening on your island, grab a pen and paper and start making note of the times. Now, one more thing to note here, when it comes to shooting stars, obviously you can have a light meteor shower and a heavy meteor shower. Light meteor showers will have about 5 stars a minute, but they can be very, very rare. However, with heavy meteor showers, you can have up to 8 stars a minute, and they can happen a lot more frequently, usually every couple of minutes, so it's so much easier to get a lot of data in a short amount of time. When it comes to auroras, they can happen for multiple hours throughout the night, usually I think about 2 to 4 hours worth, but every couple of hours, so you will need to make note of the different times they are appearing. Now, when it comes to inputting shooting stars, we want to be tracking the hour and the minute that they first appear. You can track them down to the second, however this is very, very dicey because you don't have a second clock in game. And if you want to try and line up a stopwatch with your game clock, by all means go ahead. If you are able to do it accurately, it will make this process so much faster for you. However, I found this very, very difficult and get it wrong more often than not. So for the purpose of this video, we're going to stick to just the hour and minutes. That's all we need and we should be fine. So we're going to begin on the 21st of January, which is the first date that I had a special weather event. Now I've got a note of my data that I did input to find my seed so that I can walk you through the process. So I had a meteor shower on this day, so we're going to click on that. If you do know whether it was a heavy or a light shower, you can of course put that in. If you're not sure, just leave it on not sure. It really doesn't matter. It will figure it out for you. Now, I didn't track this for very long, so I've only got 3 times for the stars on this day. I had them at 1903, which we'll put in right now, 1905, and then 1907. After that, I kind of gave up for the night. I knew it was going to be a light shower, or at least I assumed it was going to be a light shower because I didn't have any past 7:30 that night. So I stopped and I thought, you know, I'll wait for the next event at that point. But that's what we got for today. Now, if we were to try and search for our seed right now, it won't let you. It will simply tell you that you haven't entered enough data at the moment. There are 2 billion possible seeds. I think actually more than that if they tell you that on the first page. But there are over 2 billion possible seeds, so you need to enter a little bit more data before it can find your particular seed, okay? So if you do get that message, just enter a bit more data and then you'll be fine. But moving on, the next date I had a special event was the 24th. And on this date was my first aurora. Now, I had this happen at 10 o'clock till 11 o'clock, at 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock, and 3 to 4. So I want this first pattern here. But it does tell you that obviously there was 2 other options. So if you are on that day that you're documenting it, do make sure that you check each hour to make sure that you're getting the correct one for that particular day. Okay. And then after that, we jump to the 28th, which is when I had my next meteor shower. Now on this day, oh, I've already put the times in. I must have forgotten to delete them, but that's okay. But on this day, again, I only tracked a few stars. So we've got 1900, 01, 40, and then 2023. So that's all we need for that day. Now, if you are tracking the normal weather types, you can also add those down below. However, for the purpose of this, we're going to leave those out and stick to just the special events. Now, moving on, the next date I have is the 1st of February. We only have 2 more days to do, so I did this very, very quickly. On the 1st of February, I had another aurora. And this aurora was at 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock, and then 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock. So the one we've selected is already correct, so we can leave it right there. And then finally, on the 3rd of February, I had shooting stars again. So we're going to click on meteor shower. And once again, apparently it's not taken away the times, even though I removed all my data. But yes, these were the times that I had. So we had 1933, 2005, 2016, and 2023. And if you remember, this is exactly when I filmed my video showing that I just got my nuke seed that night. So that was really exciting. But now we have all that data, and already this should be enough to find our seed. So we're going to click Start Search. And this process will take a minute or 2, so just bear with it. But you should start to see a seed or 2 or 3 come up. If you get quite a few come up, then I would recommend waiting for some more data to be put into MeteoNook to narrow it down. However, if you've only got say 2 or 3 and you don't want to wait any longer, you can go over to the next page I'm going to show you in a moment and try each seed out to find which one is correct for your island. But I'm going to let this load up and then I'll be back to you in just a moment to show you what we do next. So as you can see, this process can take a few moments, so just bear with it while it's searching. But at the moment, we've inputted enough data that we've only got one possible seed. So if we've inputted everything correctly, this particular seed should match our island. And that is what we're going to find out in just a moment. Once this is finished, it should automatically direct us to the overview and we'll be able to correct it or change it right there. Okay, so here we are on the overview page. It automatically brought us here once it found just the one seed. So what we would do now is to make sure that this is in fact our unique island seed is we need to go into game and check that the weather matches what MeteoNook is telling us it should be. So if I look at my forecast for today, I can see that I had special clouds at 10 o'clock, so that would make it very easy to confirm. I would generally stay away from trying to confirm it with normal weather types just because multiple patterns can have the same. It's much easier to just confirm it with a special type. So what I would do is I would go into game at 10 o'clock, make sure I've got billow clouds, and if that's the case, I know that we are good to go. If for any reason it is wrong, then it means something you've put in is inaccurate, so you would need to go back through your data and make sure that you've put everything in correctly, or recheck the weather that you've inputted. Okay, but as we use special weather events, there's no reason for it to be inaccurate at this point. Now, so we have our island seed, so it will automatically put the seed here. Now, I do recommend making a note of this number because even though your browser will save this data so that when you go onto MeteoNook, it will automatically bring up this data again for you. If you do clear your cache and history and things like that, sometimes it can get wiped and then you'll have to go through this process all over again. So do make sure to make a note of this. And if you want to add this to your phone, you can do that, so it almost works like an app. You just simply add it as a shortcut and then it will put it straight onto your phone so you can open it at any point straight onto this page. Now, once we're happy with this, we can put in our island name. So for me, it is Elysium. Let me just type that in. I'm in the Northern Hemisphere, and then you would select whether your clock is on real time or whether you time travel. Now at the moment, I'm not time traveling, but I am behind on real time, so I would put in the date that I'm currently at in game. And I think I last played on the 10th, so I'm just going to pop that in for now, and we're going to click save. So now whenever I load back onto MeteoNook, it will automatically bring up my island information. And you can add multiple islands here. It's still got the default one there, as you can see. And you can also remove it if you restart and go through this process all over again. But now that we have our island seed, we'll be able to see exactly what weather we've got every single day, every single hour, which is amazing. But we can also see all the special weather events coming up throughout the month. We can see it as a whole overview for the month, which is also very, very handy. But we can even see the entire year at a glance, including when we've got double rainbows, when we've got heavy showers, when we've got light showers, auroras. Oh, it's just, this is amazing. So thank you, Ninja, for creating this. But now that we have that, it's going to make it so much easier to not miss out on special events, to be able to keep an eye out for them and know when they're going to be happening on our own island. So if you didn't know how to do this already, I do hope this video has been helpful for you. I hope you're able to find your own island seed with this. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. So thank you as always for your support and your amazing comments. You really have no idea how much it means to me. I am blown away every day by how lovely you all are. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again in the next part. Bye.